Hello, I'm Gladys here, and today we'll be checking out another Joshscorcher video, the top 10 rivalries. So it's basically the rivalries in games which, let's just say that things will probably get heated. And I mean in between the two people that are going to be rivals, and so on and so forth. But you never know, there could be a few friendly sparring matches, but my senses indicate that it'd be more blood feuds. Either way, it should be interesting. I mean, who knows? Might see a mixture of both. Bit of both? Bit of both. Yeah, I think so. Alright, with that, without further ado, let us get right into the... I'm joking. What if I wouldn't stoop that low to quote Keemstar? Anyway.
I was destined to be a supervillain, and we
Hey, Megamind.
were destined to be rivals.
The concept of rivals is nothing new in gaming. When going on long journeys or trading blows with powerful foes, it's inevitable that two entities of similar skill would occasionally clash from time to time. With many different iterations of this concept,
Oh, look, it's catchy.
narrowing the criteria down to a few rules. Firstly, the rivalry has to be reoccurring.
Again, I need to play
acknowledged to
Ultra
some
Kill.
degree. Can't just have any old big monster with nothing to speak on.
Yeah,
Second,
true.
they have to be similar,
And
but
recall down.
also
Yeah.
contrast with each other. What are the
I mean,
fundamental
he has sentence for
parts
fuck's
of
sake.
them that make their conflict so interesting? Third, there has to be a lengthy history of why they're set on a trajectory to butt heads.
Oh, I quite like that.
Lastly,
That
the
one in
quality
particular.
of the encounters. How satisfying are their clashes with each
I'd
other?
say Ryu and Ken is more friendly rivalry, to be honest. Yeah, Ryu and Ken probably be like more sparring matches than anything. We'll expect a few fighting games on this list, though. Alright, so iconic rivalries. I'm pretty sure I know what number one is going to be from the moment I saw the title. But let's see what the other ones are. Wait. Oh, he's probably done this because Sonic 3 got announced.
You know, it's cute when some rivalries just start as kids fighting on the playground. Too bad Square Enix puberty edge comes in and ruins it. It's
Right.
really been a while since I made any KH
Okay,
reference to my
Hearts, all right.
countdowns. I don't even think I mentioned them when I talked about Square Enix's fails for
So
2023.
is this going to be
Man,
Sora
I'm
and Riku
slacking.
then?
So, Sora and Riku.
Yep, there we go.
Playground brawl between friends turned into who can impress the girl more. Yeah, you forget that Kairi just came out of nowhere one day. And the two started
Yeah,
tripping
no
over
exaggeration.
themselves to
Literally out of
impress
nowhere.
her. Unfortunately, the Virgin Riku didn't stand much of a chance against the Chad Sora. And that's why he decided to open
The
door
next
to
time I
darkness
hear
and
the
swallowed
words
up his
Chad and
entire
Sora in the
world.
same sentence, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
keep
throw
the
up.
hormones in check, Riku. Well, it got worse. Riku met Maleficent, who used Riku's jealousy of Sora to increase his darkness and allow Ansem to possess our dear boy. Yes, I know Maleficent didn't know about Ansem's possession, but it still happened from her actions.
Kinda.
Did she know? I don't know. I don't want you guys calling me out on another KH mistake after worse villains. Trust me, this lore is hard to keep up with and as it is. Anyway,
Yeah,
this
that
led Riku
true.
going from wanting to save Kairi to just wanting to be better than Sora. Sora, on the other hand, wanted to be like Riku. He thought Riku was better at everything than him already and just wanted to be as good as him. This led to clashes between the two in Hall
bit
of
of a-
Bastion, where Sora had to fend off an Ansem-possessed Riku in one of the harder but more
Yeah,
satisfying
that
parts of the
definitely
game.
took quite a
it's
while.
satisfying now that we can skip
And-
cutscenes.
Yeah, exactly,
After
yeah.
the first game, though, the rivalry between the two kind of fizzled.
Yep.
Every Sora versus
Oh.
Riku fight after that was either a data version or Riku replica.
It was mainly KH1 where the rivalry was sort of like, quote, a rivalry. Everything after that is pretty much just like either friendly sparring or just allies. So yeah, I'd say probably just KH1 version of Sora and Riku.
Even more satisfying when you can beat it the first time.
Oh? Oh! Alright. Well done, Ari. Josh is just like, I married that woman.
Well, there was that one exception in KH2 where Riku challenged Sora in the Land of Dragons, but
Again, I think,
at that point.
yeah, friendly
Riku felt
sparring.
guilty for what he did and spent the rest of the series trying to make up for it. The two finally had an honest conversation in Kingdom Hearts 2's ending where they finally admitted their feelings of jealousy towards the other. Riku
Which is
even
good. It's
finally
great
let
character
go of the
development.
past and moved forward in dream drop distance. In fact, Riku seems to feel guilty at the times he surpasses Sora. And
Bit of a hot take, but I think Riku has better development than Sora. Just saying.
yeah, Sora still has some reservations about his actions. Hopefully, we'll see the culmination of that in KH4 if it ever comes out.
Which it probably
Unlike
won't.
was in the first game, the relationship between the two and the competitive streak that they had even after is still a major set piece in the series. The consequences
true.
of which get some serious mileage. Didn't
Like,
matter if it was
literally,
replica
Riku
or data
Replica
form, these
existed
two
because of
still
all
butt
of
heads, not just
Riku's
as
leftover
rivals,
ranks.
but also great friends. Enjoy the friendly rivalry for now as we go to some of the more violent ones in a bit.
Oh dear.
The King
Good
of
song, but I'm pretty
Fighters
sure it's
storyline is
copyright. Oh,
divided
okay.
into
KOF,
sagas.
alright.
Each has its own hero, villains,
I take it
and
this is just
rival.
Kyo and
Out of
Iori.
all of them, the definitive
there we go.
rivalry is still between Kyo and Iori. Kyo is the classic shonen protagonist, an ordinary high school student who happens to be a member of the Kusanagi clan, thus granting him fire powers.
AKA Josh's main. I actually tried to cosplay as Kyo one time. Whether I was successful or not was up for debates, but the attempt was made at least.
Iori is the classic shonen rival, a user of the dark flames who hails from the rival clan to Kyo's, the Yagamis. Heck, even their themes in 99 are mirrors of each other.
Wait, Yagami? Yeah, Yagami? Oh. Yeah, KOF has some underrated soundtrack, not gonna lie. Ooh, oh, yeah, okay. Saxophone adds a lot.
Hundreds of years
good God,
before
man,
the
the sack is
story
going
even
hard.
began, the two clans had a massive falling out when one of the Kusanagis was framed for killing one of the Yagamis. As a result, the Yagami clan made a pact with Orochi to gain more power at the cost of their sanity. This rivalry continues well into
This is what happens when people try and get ultimate power. They end up losing themselves. Tale as old as time.
the modern day, with Iori having an unquenchable urge to murder Kyo, and Kyo just wanting Iori to back off. And
Like,
nearly
Kyo,
every
you
King of
bastard,
Fighters
you
tournament,
murdered
it's a
my
near guarantee you'll see them duking it out.
bloodline.
Even when given the opportunity to
I don't know,
gain
don't fall.
others'
Okay,
powers and lead a normal life,
KOF
Iori
law. There we go.
refuses. But, like all good rivals, they're willing to put aside their differences when an even greater foe emerges.
Okay, mainly Orochi.
Granted, Iori is only willing to go through with it thanks to Chizuru urging him.
Mhm.
The only real thing that holds back
If it wasn't for Chizuru, these two would literally try and kill each other more times than I can count.
at Kyo and Iori is how little their dynamic has progressed over the series. Iori is still at Kyo's throat nearly 30 years
Damn
after
you,
his
Kyo.
debut. You'd think that them teaming up to save the world twice would have gotten them to finally bury the hatchet.
Nope.
I mean, I'm not saying they need to be buddy-buddy with each other, but some kind of change or development would be
Oh,
that.
okay. I mean, that's one way of telling it, if you catch my drift.
Guilty Gear's cast has been
Oh,
through
okay, two
quite
fight games in a
lot.
row.
In the series' 25-year run, we've
Kai
seen
versus
them
Soul, I
grow
take
and
it.
change in all kinds of ways. And if there's anyone who's seen
Yep, here we go.
the most growth, it's the main duo of Saul and Kai. Everything about
Hell
these
yeah.
two perfectly contrast each other. Their designs, their personalities,
Hell
and
yeah.
even their play styles. In the
Right.
backstory, Saul was once a member of the Holy Knights alongside Kai. Even back then, conflict was already brewing.
Yeah, they
between
were
them.
already butting
Saul
heads
wanted
in
to
the
do
first
things
game.
his way, and Kai did everything by the book. Eventually, Saul grew impatient with his and deserted Holy Knights altogether.
He's pretty much just like, "Ugh, I'm tired of doing things by the book, Kai. And Kai's just like, oh, we have to do things by the book, otherwise everything falls into chaos.
Taking the legendary Fire Seal with him.
He's like,
then,
"I'm taking this
the
with me."
rivalry would only continue. In X, the two of them clashed over how to deal with the newly emerged Dizzy. Saul saw her as just another bounty, while Kai saw her as someone who deserved understanding. After that, Saul
Yep.
and Kai would undergo
And thus Sin was born.
development, both as individuals and as rivals. Saul became less of an a-hole, while Kai became less authoritarian. Together, they began to build up
Some
a
good
sense
growth
of
between the two
mutual
characters.
understanding and respect. By the time Overture rolls around, Kai trusts Saul enough to act as a surrogate grandfather to his kid.
Which was
Because
saying
Kai is married
something.
to Saul's daughter, Dizzy.
Oh, here we
it's the
go.
two of them
Best cutscene in the
father and
franchise.
Son.
Ah!
Boy, boy, technically.
So, who won the shouting match?
Oh, these are fun. Also, can we take just a
Yeah,
minute to
right.
appreciate how epic their versus theme and overture was? Seriously, just listen to it.
Oh, here we go. Let Daisuke cook. Let Daisuke cook. So, goddamn, double TP's alright. I mean, this is just Daisuke at his best, honestly. Overture's soundtrack in particular is just a metal fan's wet dream, to be honest. I mean, yeah, the other rivalry themes were good, but Overture's was just something else. Oh, destroyed. Alright, what's next?
It is said that man's greatest enemy is himself. For only when we vanquish our own demons can we truly prosper. Evidently, Luke and Ash took that one out.
Oh,
bit
okay.
literally.
Here we go.
At the beginning of the story, Luke
AKA
and
Best
Ash
Tales
are
game.
as far
Don't
from
at
each
me.
other as you can get. Luke is a whiny young nobleman, and Ash is a military commander. It's not until the end of the first act when they finally meet and realize they look and sound exactly alike.
Gee, I wonder
Gee,
why.
The rival is an evil version of the main character.
How original!
Well, not exactly.
Yeah,
Or you see,
true. But
Ash isn't the replica. Luke is.
Dun,
When
dun,
Ash, then known as
dun.
Luke, was younger, he was kidnapped by Van and replaced by an identical replica. Said replica pretty much took over his life while the person now known as Ash was turned into Van's servant. Luke, being a replica, has no memory of any of this and is seemingly antagonized for no reason.
imagine being antagonized by someone who looks like you, and you have no idea what the hell you've done to piss them off. That's pretty much Luke and Ash's rivalry in a nutshell.
As the game goes on and Luke becomes a better person, he seeks to end his rivalry with Ash so they can work together. Ash adamantly refuses. And can you really blame him? He had his entire life taken away from him and was molded into a
You'd be
servant
pissed
by
off
the guy
too.
that did it. Despite that,
Hashtag
he is
Ash did
willing
nothing
to
wrong.
begrudgingly cooperate with Luke when the chips are down. Sadly,
Well,
Ash never
technically-
fully converts to the hero side, and it costs him his life as a result. Out of all the entries here, Luke and Ash are easily the most tragic example of a rivalry. Had Ash been willing to swallow his pride and cooperate, things might have ended up better for him. The only real slight against Luke
debatable.
and Ash is that since they only have one canonical game together, the rivalry doesn't get to be explored as much
Yeah,
as the
but
others.
have you
But
played the Tales
since
game?
said game is a 50-hour-long JRPG,
Exactly.
yeah, they still earned their place on this list.
And all of that wouldn't have happened if Van wasn't a complete you-know-what. Oh, there's a matter of time before these two showed up. Okay.
I'm Mr. Ice Ninja. I'm Mr. Chill. I'm Mr.
Damn, alright, we got another Joshscorcher
Ripper.
musical here.
I'm Mr. Frosty Kill. Friends call me Sub-Zero. Whatever I punch.
I always prefer Sub-Zero's playstyle with Scorpions, if I'm being honest.
I'm too much.
Alright, now take it over to Scorpion.
I'm Mr. Flame Ninja.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Mr. Spear.
I know what's coming up, I know what you're gonna rhyme it with.
Hellfire. I'm
He's Mr. Get over here! Come on, that was too obvious.
Scorpion, whatever I punch.
Or Sunfire in this case.
Ash with a touch.
Okay.
I'm too much. Too much. Okay, when did I become the Weird Al of video games? But yeah,
Well,
at face value,
well-
that's this rivalry.
That kind of just happened naturally over time. That wasn't something which just happened recently, so. But it's true, he has become like a weirdo Yankovic of video games. Whether he likes it or not.
In a nutshell, Fire, Ice, and Fisticuffs. Two iconic titans in the Mortal Kombat franchise, Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
AKA
Having
the
been
two
around since
posted
the early
two posted
Mortal
boys.
Kombat days, they made their debut as color-swapped frenemies who have had it out for each other since day one.
Mhm.
But over time, the lore between these two evolved beyond just palette-swapped foes.
Yeah,
They
no, right?
represent two rival clans, Sub-Zero hailing from the Lin Kuei of China, and Scorpion from the Shirai Ryu of Japan. But tensions really grew when the sorcerer Quan Chi hired both clans to
AKA
retrieve
Quan Chi
artifacts.
ruined
The
everything.
two ninjas met on the battlefield, and Sub-Zero emerged the victor, while Scorpion wasn't so good. Like
Yeah.
that. But Quan Chi decides he's not quite done with Scorpion
Emotionally
yet, and brings him back,
manipulated
bringing him the grim
Scorpion
news
to
that
kill Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero killed his family and clan. So Scorpion decides an
Which
eye
he
for an
didn't.
eye and a death for a get over here, and
Mhm.
returns the favor by killing his longtime foe.
Is this the end? I guess so. Oh wait, there's a bunch more.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
story don't end there, kiddies.
No,
Because now
otherwise it'd be a pretty
Sub-Zero's
short thing,
younger
game.
brother
Story.
decides it's his turn for a revenge story and takes
Mhm.
his fallen sibling's mantle. And ooh, the can of worms he opens along the way.
I know,
For
right?
one, Quan Chi decided to play God again and turn the OG Sub-Zero into his new puppet warrior, Noob Saibot. And it also turns out that Quan
Who has it? Hang on, I'm trying to do a voice of this. Who has a voice like this? That sort of like sounds like Dr. Claw. And I tried. That was the best new Cyber impression. I tried it. I tried.
Chi was the one who really wiped out Scorpion's clan just to snuff out Sub-Zero. Recognizing their common foe,
Pretty much.
Scorpion and the new Sub-Zero cast aside their differences and band together to undercut the real puppeteer behind their whole feud. But, of course, 2023 meant new reboot time, which means a clean slate for the Rivalry to begin
Damn
anew.
MK1.
It's kinda sad because the drama and hype they gave the original were amazing.
I know,
Taking essentially
right?
two color-swapped sides of the same coin, fleshing their differences in elements, cultures, and tribes, and really ramping up the drama between them. And to it,
Especially in MKX. That's one thing which I'd actually give MKX's story credit, is that the stuff which they do with Scorpion and Sub-Zero is absolutely amazing. Also, that has the best... It definitely has the best banter between the two. The whole Lin Kuei scum and the Shira Ryu dog. My word, that was just like... Ooh, when I first heard that, that was intense.
most of that drama was caused by an outside source, all before arriving at a satisfying conclusion.
Until
where they
MK1 fucked it
snuffed
up.
out the actual threat. The fact that this beat
Again, until MK1's
for
messed up.
7 years and was arguably the most developed in the series speaks volumes for a
Until,
fighting game.
well,
I mean,
retcon.
as the name implies, fighting is pretty much the norm. But seeing it actually get personal like this only makes it better.
Stop, drop, and roll. Always makes me laugh. Stop, drop, and die.
Ooh, I don't know if he had that voice.
I cannot believe we made it this far into the countdown
Mm-hmm.
and haven't once mentioned a single Capcom game. Let's fix that.
Oh,
Mega
Battle
Man
Network,
Battle
alright.
Network takes some of the core Mega Man ideas and puts it in a Kodomo setting, complete with
I
the
think I
three
know
best
who's coming
friends
up.
gang and the villains of the week formula. And as usual with these setups,
Yep, here we
there
go.
is a major rivalry. And given how many installments the series has, it's interesting to see how far this one
Yeah,
develops.
this is the one
Miami
which everyone...
Navi is an ordinary boy with a net navi just like anyone else. I
Miami
he's
Navi,
the
see?
son of the most renowned scientists in the world, fights
Mm-hmm.
terrorists and criminal masterminds on a weekly basis. And his net navi, Megaman.exe, is basically CyberGod. So, but
Yeah.
he wouldn't have gotten that far if he wasn't challenged by Eugene Chaud, or Chaud Blaze in the anime. I don't know, I
Yeah,
guess that
yeah,
name
that's him.
Eugene is a cool name. Anywho,
Yeah.
Chaud is a big shot net battler who fights crimes across the net alongside his loyal companion, Proto-Man.
Proto-Man, yeah.
He doesn't take kindly to Land third partying on his assignments and always tries to put
I
him
always
out of
like the
commission
rivalry
during
between
the
these
first
two.
games. Though Chaud was always the instigator of their fights, Land does have a
Yeah, I
fascination
know, right?
for how formidable he is. So much so that in
Also,
the third game, he goes
The
out
protagonist's name is Lan. Make all the jokes you want, but they knew that Capcom knew that we'd catch on to that.
of his way to study the guy, only to find out that Chaud isn't just a natural born pro. He's been training just as rigorously as anyone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's
Puts
on
him in a
the
relatable
eSport
scope that
grind
made
set.
Lan appreciate him more. Meanwhile, Chaud's not a fan of Mega Man constantly giving Proto Man the good old System 32. A lot of that because he had a lot of expectations to live up to for his father's sake. It didn't help his ego much knowing that Lan and Yuichiro
Nope.
had a better son and father relationship than his own. But over time,
Yeah, that
it
would
does
kinda
grow to
sour
respect
the
Lan
relationship.
more as they fight alongside each other again and again.
And they
Not to
become
mention the
best
fact that
buddies
Lan
ever
would save
since.
Shad's father from Mad Dog wannabe. Putting aside
Yeah,
their jealousy
that
for each
was just
other
like
in favor
just
of a
him
healthy
yeeting that thing at him.
rivalry, Lan and Shad would start doing missions together. They even save each other's
Well,
neck
how about
after
that?
one gets possessed by Dark Soul. Eventually, it all comes together in Team Proto Man. You can tell how much Shad values Lan's companionship when not only did he assign Lan as the first member to lead his missions, but when Mega Man gets captured, Sean is willing to assign Lan his own net Navi partner. Yes, he gives Proto Man
That
his
is
blood
trust.
and sweat to his
That is like
rival.
ultimate
Now, sure,
trust
Meryl
to
does
give
the
you
same thing in Team
to give
Colonel, but that's
Lan Proto
mainly
Man.
because he knew about Lan's accomplishments and used him as, well, an asset. Shad gets slapped in the face by the same guy he's been giving a cold shoulder to for months, and he still trusts
You can't
Lan
blame
to
him.
pick up his marbles and do his job right. After everything these two have been through together, this is the payoff they deserve. For a standard anime-esque rivalry, Lan and Shad are really well developed. Every
Yeah, I know, right?
confrontation between the two always adds up to how much they would grow and learn from each other. Sometimes simple formulas open an avenue for writers to delve into nuanced interactions, and this is a fine example of that.
Yeah, I do like Lan and Shad's rivalry. I think it's quite organically. I think it's quite organic how it sort of like develops over the course of the games. Alright, what's the next? What's the next one?
Finally, we
Oh,
can get
Pokemon
back to the
rivalry.
more
Here we go.
friendly rivalries. And nothing's more friendly than the kid-friendly Pokemon, right? Just don't read the Pokedex entries.
Yeah,
And
don't.
guys,
You'll be
come on,
scarred for
Pokemon
life.
being here should be the least surprising. We literally have a whole subtype of trainer called the Rival. If
Gee, I
it
wonder
wasn't
what their
a
archetype is
tier
gonna
list
be.
on that, plug. And yeah, similar to that list, it would be a travesty if we didn't put the OG Red versus Blue.
Yeah.
Wonder why we're here. It's one of Life's Great Mysteries, isn't it?
No, not that one. It kind of fell off. Ever since Gen 1,
Man,
Blue has
man, you're
been
right. You're right.
the antagonistic rival.
Red versus Blue Zero. Anyone? Wish I didn't remember that.
He was always ahead of you when clearing gyms. He always gave you the stink eye. and
Yep,
told you that
he's
he
always
could
one
smell
step ahead of you.
Like, why would you smell me? That's weird. His team
Yeah,
was
I know,
pretty
right?
strong,
Ew.
too. Too bad he kept losing to Red all the time. Didn't matter that he beat each gym first. Didn't even matter they became the champion
Nah.
before you. You,
It just
as
matters
Red,
that I
would
can
come
beat
in
the
and
hell
beat
out of him in the final
no
battle.
matter what. And when he loses as champion right after becoming it, he is crushed. And then having
Yeah,
his own grandfather give him a verbal
After that,
smackdown.
you kind of feel bad for him after that.
Now, what does
I say
Red think
kind
about
of,
all
but, you
this?
know.
Well, being a silent pro tag don't help. If we go by the
I know.
Origins anime or the Adventures manga, the rivalry was much more one-sided to Blue, as Red struggled to defeat his rival until the champion battle. It was similar to Sora and
Yeah,
Riku,
that's
where Red respected
more
Blue,
accurate.
but instead of it being friendly, Blue was just being a jerk usually. So
I mean,
Red's
yeah, he
competitive
was,
spirit
but
was also a
guy
lot
was
less
based off him
friendly
after all.
compared to the KH duo. It works better since once the two face off at the end of the game, it finally shows Red becoming a true master. Not only becoming the champion, but also defeating the one person who he was trying to surpass, even if it was humiliating for Blue as a result. In more
Yeah,
modern
well, you
games,
and Sun
Red and
use some.
Blue seem to be on more friendly terms. Blue actually grew
Yeah,
from
especially in
his
Sun and Moon,
counter
where they
to
act
a
buddy
more
buddy.
passive approach towards battling. He still only cares about winning and is full of himself at times, but he knows
I
there's
mean,
more to
you can't
battling
change that.
than winning. There's a scene in Pokemon Master EX where Red, Blue, and Leaf are training together as a team for a tournament. Even though they're all on the same team, Blue still wants to fight Red despite them having an important match coming up. Blue
Because nothing will
knows
get
it's
in the way
selfish,
of their
but he
rivalry.
doesn't want to be the sidekick to Red. He wants to be Red's rival and be equal to him. When Blue leaves, Red calls out to him, accepting it. It's such a great scene between the two that makes me
Yeah,
mad
it's good
it's
character
at a
development.
gacha game. The Red talking at all is weird. Red
Yeah, I
is
know, right?
Pokemon's defining rivalry for a
Yeah, I
reason.
think Pokemon
Or
Master
maybe
DX
better
in general is
developed
weird.
characters
Is
or
it
deeper
canonical? Is it
motivations
not
down the
canonical?
line.
What's going
Just
on?
Wiping the floor with your smug neighbor is cathartic as heck. Wait,
Hmm.
hang on. Master shows more development for N and Silver? Also, why is the music
Yeah.
so good? And why is
It's-
your player characters canon Pokemon team Pikachu, Torchic, and Solgaleo? You can't even evolve the Torchic? This game is weird.
I know, right? Like, Pikachu I understand because of the mascot. Torchic is just like, yeah, okay, maybe the creator's playing favorites. And all of a sudden, here, have Solgaleo. I'm sorry, what? I mean, I'm not going to complain, but seems like a bit of
In
a
the
power
early
balance.
2000s, Sega decided that it wasn't enough to have their iconic blue blur entice the kids.
Oh, I think I know what's coming up.
By being a cocky, hip, chili dog-eating speedster who doesn't play by the rules. No, what he really needed was an antithesis. Not just another enemy like Eggman, no, but someone on almost equal footing with the blue.
Here he
Hedgehog,
comes.
with his own conflicting
Here he
agenda.
comes.
Well,
It's
with
him.
Knuckles having
Oh,
turned
hang on.
buddy-buddy with Sonic and Metal Sonic bordering more towards villain with an identity crisis, there was only one way to go.
Yep. Hey, look, it's the Hot Topic mascot.
Are you edgy? Is you a little edgy
Okay.
And thus was born Shadow the Hedgehog. Hedgehog.
No, you're
A
saying it
near
right. You were
perfect
saying it
counterpart
right.
To Sonic. Might want to take a number there, buddy.
Yeah.
On the surface, Shadow's the poster child for edgelords. A broody, emotionally complex.
Where's that
downright
damn
dark
third
to be
place
who
on the
hates
countdown?
world. Oh, and in his own title game, he has a motorcycle and a gun. Because Sega spells subtlety with an X.
To the extreme!
Alright,
Yep,
alright.
pretty
Beneath
much.
all the Hot Topic mascot jokes, Shadow is actually
Hey,
a
I-
character. An
I actually just posted that same joke on Twitter earlier today. Joshscorcher is reading my mind, I swear to God.
artificially created hedgehog made with the purpose of finding a cure for an ailing little girl's disease. Sadly, he failed, and his heartbreak turned to anger as he vowed to make humanity suffer.
Yeah, edgelord jokes aside, Shadow's
Good old
backstory is
Eggman woke him up,
actually...
and he found himself at
Yeah,
odds
you'd
with
be-
our own blue blur,
You'd understand why he'd be
and the
pissed off
rest is
all the
history.
time.
The reason Shadow really earned the title as Sonic's arch rival is because they really do feel like two sides of the same coin. Shadow's obviously more serious and grouchy, but he shares a bit of Sonic's cockiness to the point where he arrogantly
All I've
says
wanted was
that
to be in a
Sonic
Hot Topic,
copied
Sonic.
him. Yet at the same time, you can tell there's no real malice between them, and their friendly rivalry enables Shadow to grow past the edgy marketing, turning into a dependable ally when needed, and even into a good mentor for Silver. He truly
In
is
his own
the
unique way.
Vegeta to Sonic's Goku. Wait, does that make Knuckles the Piccolo? Related to a lot of mysticism, former rival, the Big Green.
Yeah, hold up. Let him cook.
Speaking
Let him
of
cook. He's onto
Piccolo,
something.
kind of the one minor nitpick to Shadow's involvement. Considering Knuckles was first in the non-Robo rival squad, Shadow kinda made him feel superfluous. Kinda sad because
Yeah, all right.
Knuckles' own backstory before becoming Sonic's other bestie. Still, at least both remain large parts of Sonic's life and the franchise. More so thanks to the movies.
Yep.
A secret research facility.
Yeah, I wonder why you made this list. It's almost like this happened.
Very hard to keep this hidden.
My God.
Project Shadow.
Oh, I can't wait.
Neither can I. Alright, what's taking silver medal?
Okay, Ace Attorney.
Oh, there we
time.
go.
Are you surprised it's this high? You really shouldn't be. All you do in these games is go to
Yep,
trial with
it's,
rival
Phoenix
prosecutors
Wright
to defend
and
your
Miles
client.
Edgeworth.
And of course, we got to talk about the real rivalry we got going on: Phoenix Wright versus Miles Edgeworth. We start all the
Objection,
way back to
objection
when they were
overruled.
children. Wow, we got a lot of childhood friends turned rivals here.
It's almost like it's a
saved
common trope.
Phoenix from getting in trouble as a kid, and since then, the two have been close friends. Too bad Daddy
Yeah,
Edgeworth
about that.
died and Kid Edgeworth got adopted by Manfred von Frickin' Karma. And anyone who knows him
yeah,
knows that being
yeah.
raised by that sociopath is going to leave some lingering pains. When Edgeworth
Yikes.
and Phoenix finally reunited as adults, it was when Phoenix was still a beginner lawyer defending his mentor sister on
Yeah.
the crime of sororicide.
Mhm.
And then his childhood friend, who he saw as his inspiration to become a lawyer, was a prosecutor.
No
using deviousness
pressure.
to win his case. Yeah, Edgeworth, that autopsy report really was out of date.
Didn't do that!
If it wasn't for actual divine intervention, Phoenix would have lost.
I know,
Edgeworth
right?
isn't all that bad.
Phoenix won that case through sheer dumb luck. And divine intervention from Maya, so there's that as well, but yeah, had that played out a little bit differently, yeah, Phoenix would have been screwed.
Though, he actually helped you once or twice in case 3, but when case 4, the first game hits, Edgeworth becomes the defendant, and yeah, we need to defend him. Seeing
Yeah,
Phoenix do
ugh.
just that, and
Well,
finding
ain't that
out
a kick
his
in the head?
mentor and father figure killed his actual father really made Edgeworth go into a downward spiral. He left claiming death, causing Phoenix to curse his name for running away. But in a surprising twist, Edgeworth came back with a real renewed outlook. He sought the truth more than
it's almost
anything
like,
else.
well, I don't know, he
didn't want
developed.
to gain a guilty verdict. He wanted there to be no doubt to his theory. He even talked Phoenix what it meant to be
Okay.
a lawyer in the
Put the
last
MacPad
case
joke
of
in there.
Justice for All, when Phoenix was forced to defend a murderer. It's an
Yeah,
amazing
not just
redemption
any
arc where
murderer.
the rival
Frickin' on
actually
guard.
surpasses the protagonist, but
I mean,
not in an antagonistic
yeah,
way.
no,
After this, Phoenix and
absolutely not. I'm not
Edgeworth
defending that
trusted each
trick.
other as close friends and rivals. While they're on their own paths, they still think of each other when the going gets rough and what they would do in those situations. I'll admit in Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice, Edgeworth does seem like he reverted a bit in his development.
Yeah, he
but
kind
I'd
of went
say
backwards
he
a little bit.
matured. He was a prosecutor during the dark age of the law and had to claw his way through public opinion to get where he was. But when Phoenix does finally prove his case, Edgeworth will relent because he still trusts in him to fight for his client, as Phoenix trusts Edgeworth to give him everything he has.
Yeah, it's kind of like a shonen rivalry, except without the fighting. Alright, let's see what we
Ryu
got.
and Ken, Street Fighter. Iconic, but super friendly compared to others.
Yeah,
Raiden and
yeah,
Jackson
exactly.
and Sam from Metal Gear Rising. Hyped for the revengeance, but
Mhm.
Armstrong stole the show after. Kirby
Yeah, let's be
and
real,
Meta
that's kinda did
Knight and
happen.
King DDD from Kirby. Kirby kind of has a thing for taking selfish, greedy a-holes and cold, stoic warriors and melting their hearts after beating them up. 9S and
Yeah, I know,
82,
right?
near half misunderstanding, half corruption, all Yoko Taro stroking his ego.
Mm-hmm.
Deservedly, Fox and Wolf from Star Fox, a literal
Alright, that man's good.
dogfight over who's the better pilot. I hate how clever that pun is. Pit and Dark Pit from Kid Icarus.
Damn.
What starts as
You can't
Pit's
escape the
dark
puns.
reflection for his repressed need for freedom
Hey,
ends
look, it's
up
Pit
being
2.
just an edgelord twin brother who's just as dorky as he is. Bayonetta and John from Bayonetta. Childhood friends turned rivals thanks to some brainwashing. Jin,
Yeah,
Kazuya, and
I know, right?
Heihachi from Tekken. There isn't a therapist alive that can help
Yeah,
this
no.
family work through their issues.
Yeah. All I have to say is that anyone who was to try to get these three into therapy, they'd be making a hell of a lot of money. Hell, probably enough money, probably the same amount of money as the machine that's like Boxer, to be honest. Which is quite a lot, given how much they've kind of raised havoc throughout the franchise. But yeah, they're gonna need like the best therapist in the world to deal with these three.
Asura and Yasha from Asura's Wrath. Makes you wonder why Yasha was against you to begin with, but hey, at least the
Yeah,
fights were awesome. Ragna and Jin Kisaragi
Oh,
from Blaze
there they are.
Blue. Good rivalry, but feels like Diet Dante and Virgil.
Alright. Gee, I wonder who's number one then.
Rivals.
Let's see. Yeah. As if there was ever any doubt. Of course he had to do the meme as well. Also, Dante versus Virgil, yeah. I'm actually gonna make a joke about that at the end of this video. I mean, who else could it be?
How could it not be them?
I
Devil
know,
May Cry
right?
is a quintessential gaming franchise that has been influential throughout gaming. Gameplay that's both innovative and fun, cutscenes that are action-packed and energized, and a story that is both deep and gripping in spite of its over-the-top
No wonder they're so
nature.
critically
And,
acclaimed.
of course, it features one of the most iconic rivalries between the protagonist Dante and his twin brother Virgil. Dante is a laid-back devil hunter with a devil-may-care, oh, now I get it, approach to
Yeah.
combat.
Oh, you finally get it
is
then.
An uptight devil bringer with a surgical approach to combat.
AKA
since
cut
childhood,
through
they've
dimensions.
opposed each other on a fundamental level. Dante favored his human mother, while Virgil respected his father's demon lineage. When their home was
Gee, it's
attacked
like
by
they were
the
playing
forces of
favorites.
Mundus, their mother was able to save Dante, but Virgil was claimed by the devils. Virgil goes throughout his life seeking additional demonic power. Unfortunately, this contrasts with
Hence why
Dante
he says he
trying
needs
to
more
protect
power.
humanity, as Virgil's goals tend to occur without any regard to other people.
Yep.
While they
Powered by
worked together
absolute
at
by any
times,
means
they
necessary.
always had a clash of ideals one way or another. The funny thing is, their rivalry doesn't seem to be all that personal. I
No,
mean,
it's almost
it
like
is
this
a little personal,
kind-
but it feels more like they simply disagree with each other
Yeah.
and fighting is the only way they seem to know how to express.
If this is how they disagree, I'd hate to see what. I'd hate to see if what would happen if they were actually like legitimately personal with each other.
He reflects on his actions in Devil May Cry 3 and 1 and wonders how things might have changed if he was saved that day instead of Dante. Although they will never ever admit it.
Nope.
Both Dante and Virgil respect each other as rivals.
In their own unique
Virgil
way.
always eagerly awaits his brother's arrival to his parties, and Dante is giddy to see what his brother has in store for him. This currently culminates at the end of Devil May Cry 5, where Dante and Virgil have one more showdown with intent to kill.
Yeah,
only to be
that's
stopped
when
by
they
Nero.
weren't holding
The
back.
revelation of Nero being his son and the time he spent as V finally mellowed Virgil out, where he will work with Dante toward a common goal.
Begrudgingly.
even if it traps both of them in the netherworld. Their last scene is where the two of them are friendly sparring in between dealing with demon hordes. They finally admit they respect each other, even if they don't outright say it.
Actually, fun fact, in that ending scene in Devil May Cry 5, if you somehow manage to get a tie, that's considered like the rarest outcome you can get. Because most players, either Dante wins or Virgil wins. But if you manage to get somehow even Steven's scoreline, then yeah, congratulations, you got the rare tie achievement. Well, not achievement, but you should feel achieved if you get that, because that thing's freaking rare.
I am so glad that DMC5 gave us a true conclusion to their rivalry, since all we had was what happened in 3 and 1. Virgil became Nello Angelo and was
Makes you
killed
wonder
by
what would happen in
Dante
Devil May Cry
without
6.
realizing he was Virgil until it was too late. It's why these two are #1 and why we get some of the best fights in gaming as a result of it. I'm Joshscorcher,
Absolutely.
and I'm glad my rivals on YouTube are all friendly as we work alongside each other to give you the best content we can. Even if they keep breaking my window whenever we collab.
Alright, you sit in your own wife for my boy, okay. I think Russian Badger said it best. Dante and Virgil's rivalry gets so heated that they can form miniature suns from their clash. Also, yeah, about that joke I was saying I was going to make, I'm going to send something that would kind of annoy my friends of the Discord server. I'd basically be saying like Dante versus Virgil is Coca-Cola and Ragnar versus Gin is Pepsi, and see how they respond. I'm gonna get fucking obliterated when I post that. But yeah, that was the top 10 rivalries. Alright, so I've been Umbra, and I will see you in the next one. Ta-ra!